Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so in the last two videos, we are really talking about changing meaning or meaning reframe. One thing that a lot of people don't understand is that we literally give meaning or meanings to words and the experiences we have in life. So, like in the story in the last video where these two guys were, I think it was the Vietnam War, I think it might have been the Korean War. They were in their foxhole and they both saw their battle buddy get blown up right in front of them because an enemy threw a hand grenade at him. He was outside of the foxhole about, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 feet in front of the foxhole, and they literally watched this guy get blown up. The same exact event from the same angle, from the same perspective, from the same distance, from the same everything. And these two guys had two completely different experiences from it. One guy went off to be a successful lawyer. He went to law school, graduated. I think he got his master's degree, and then he went on to work as a lawyer, and then he opened up his own very, very successful law firm. So successful, he became a U.S. senator. This was a very, very successful guy living life to the fullest. Whereas the guy next to him, he ended up being homeless, and an interview came along and said, well, what made the difference? Like, what changed your life to where you went in this direction? Well, the guy that was successful said, when my buddy got blown up right in front of me, I realized how precious life was and how short life can be. He goes, I decided in that moment, you have to live life every moment as if it's your last moment. And that drove him to go on to be very happy and very successful in life with a happy family, wife, children, etc., etc. Whereas the other guy, they said, well, what happened? Like, why are you on Skid Row? Why are you homeless? Why are you hooked and addicted to drugs, etc.? And he said the same thing. He goes, I saw my buddy get blown up right in front of me. And they're kind of looking at him like, wait, what? And he said, I decided in that moment life wasn't worth living. So the meaning that you give to an event, even if it's unconscious, will have a powerful effect on your life and take you in a direction. So I talked about this much more in depth in the last two videos. I'm not going to repeat that. Now, the thing that people don't realize is generally we unconsciously make these decisions and decide what the meaning is to any event. And we're not conscious of it. So we either become very successful, or we become very sad, or very lonely, or whatever. Take narcissist abuse. A lot of you guys on this channel suffered from narcissist abuse. If you learn enough about narcissist abuse, you will rise above, because all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, they have no power over you once you see the game, once you see them, and once you realize how scared they are. They do not want to be revealed. I'm at a point now where I absolutely believe this was a gift from God. Oh, that's a new meaning reframe. 4 years ago, I was yelling at God. I was crying out to God, why would you do this to me? Now I'm like, oh, because it makes you smarter. It makes you more aware. It makes you more powerful. It makes you more confident if you choose it. If you just go back 4 years and listen to my voice in those videos, I was nowhere near as confident and comfortable with myself as I am now in those videos. And back then I thought I was really confident, not compared to the way I am now because of what I went through. If you were paying attention closely, I did it again. I just gave it a positive meaning compared to what I just went through. You can hear it in my tone of voice, like, wow, it sounds like this is a positive experience. That's weird, because most people that suffer from narcissist abuse are destroyed. Anybody could take this path. Anyone that suffered from any kind of abuse. You can go down a path that empowers you. I know it's not easy where you're at, but you can do it. And man, can you shorten the time and the distance if you have a coach like me who understands what's going on an unconscious level. Now, when I use the phrase meaning reframe, it's an actual NLP technique that I was taught and trained in many, many years ago that I've been using with myself and clients for decades. There's also belief change. When I say belief change, it's a 5-step process. It's an actual process where you can shift your beliefs. You can see things from a new perspective. There's also a technique called reframing. We can reframe your beliefs, mostly your perspective. Once you see something from a different angle or perspective, all of a sudden it's like everything changes, everything shifts. It's like the light has been shone down or shined down on the experience, and all of a sudden you see things in a different light. Like, oh, I never thought of it like that. If people were to say, like, well, what do you really do? I come across and say, well, I'm a personal development coach. I'm a NLP trainer, et cetera, life coach, et cetera. But if I want to break it down to a real core pattern. For literally over a decade, all I did with people was a meaning reframe. Everything that you do, I don't care if it's being overweight, eating too much, having phobias. All we're doing is reframing the meaning or meanings, plural, that you gave to an event, that you gave to a subject, that you gave to a series of words. One of the most empowering and powerful things that I've learned to do over years and years of not only NLP and hypnosis, see, the more you go down a subject, it could be math. I had a math teacher go, Michael, everything breaks down to A, B, and C. I'm like, never thought of it like that. So you see core patterns. Had a football coach tell me this my freshman year in college again. I'm like, well, how did you see that? He goes, well, I didn't see it, but based on the rules, and by the way, there's a lot of rules in American football. Oh my God. He goes, but based on the rules, when the offensive line lines up in a certain, not perspective, but certain position, they're only allowed to do 3 to 5 things. So if this guy does this, now they can only do 2 or 3 things. And that's how I know, this guy had to do this based on the rule. If he didn't, because this guy shifted like this, they would have got a penalty. So my point is this: anytime you go down an endeavor for many, many years and you really study, you really, pay attention, you're really learning, you will start seeing the very core basic patterns, like at plus 1 equals a tone. So when it comes to my business, one of the main things I do with people, and I do it all day long, I do it at the grocery store, I do it when I'm talking to friends, I do it with clients, I just do meaning reframe, over and over and over, because everything comes down to a meaning reframe when you're in fear, when you're stuck, when you're not living the life of your dreams. Now, you might think, you just throw... No, there's a series of different techniques that I use, but there's a core understanding of they're stuck here, so I got to get them to see that from a different perspective. They have to see it and receive and or understand or give a different meaning to what's happening in their life. Otherwise, they're not going to shift. There's a client that I've worked with a few times from this channel. Her name is Diane. I don't think that's the name of her YouTube channel. But she can verify, every time she comes to me, when she's in a very deeply painful experience, she's gone through some serious extreme narcissist abuse, and she's at a place where she thought, is this my life? Is this where I'm always going to be? And I walk in, we talk for an hour and a half, 2.5 hours. All of a sudden, boom. All the depression's gone, all the hurt, all the pain, at least for that moment, and now she's looking at life from a completely, radically different perspective. So what have we learned so far in these last, including this video, the 3 videos? Number 1, you need to be really careful of the meaning to words that people give. So if you guys use a word, you may give 2 separate meanings to the word. You need to make sure that the person you're talking to understands the meaning that you're giving to a certain word. Okay? And vice versa. There have been times when I've been saying something really positive, really funny, really maybe just to make people laugh, a joke or something. They go, why would you say something like that? By the way, this happened very recently. So I turned to this person who I very, very much care about, and I'm like, wait, what do you mean? What do you think I said? What does that mean? And and here's what you can say. I literally said, well, when I say this word, what does that mean to you? Oh, that's horrible. I would never say something like that. But I'm like, I don't think you understand. That's not what I mean. And they're like, what? I go, when I say this in this tone, in this way, what I mean is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They're like, oh, well, I thought you meant this horrible thing over there. I was like, no, not at all. So I think it was in the last video or the video before that, I bought some very expensive shoes when I was a kid. I had 4 paper routes, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. I worked my butt off and saved up for 3 or 4 months. And to me as a kid, saving money was really difficult, but I disciplined myself and I really put the money away. I hid it so my brothers couldn't steal it. And I bought these really cool blue suede Converse tennis shoes. And the first day I wore them, my oldest brother, he just flew in from Hawaii. He said, Michael, those shoes are bad. And I thought he meant they sucked and they were no good, because the word bad means bad. And I started to cry. And I was like, well, what's wrong with them? And then my other brother goes, no, he means they're good. And I'm like, what? Now I was really confused. I go, why didn't he just say that? He goes, and then my older brother again goes, but Michael, those shoes are bad. And I'm like, why do you say that? What's wrong with them? And then my other brother goes, there's nothing wrong with them. He's trying to tell you they're good. And I just was like, what the hell? Like, why didn't you just say that? My point being is words can have different meanings. Words can change meaning over time. So communicating with another human being is a difficult skill. It really is. And it's not your fault, by the way, because that's just one word in one short sentence that I misunderstood. Imagine speaking 4 sentences, a whole paragraph, and then you misunderstand one word in this sentence and 2 words in that sentence and 1 word in the next one. All of a sudden, you're having 2 completely different conversations. So it's very important to ask that person, what do you mean when you say this word? What do you mean when you say this word in this way in this sentence? And then listen to what they're saying, because it might be a different meaning than you have. This could save a marriage. This could save a friendship. This could save a business deal. This could save someone from getting their heart broken. Life is all about misunderstanding. Now, I don't mean like, oh my God, we're having a misunderstanding. It's not about, it's okay. Because I used to think, oh, misunderstandings, those are horrible. It's monstrous. It's not. It's just, oh, we misunderstood you. So no. What I'm saying is this, and that. And you're like, oh, I thought you said this over here. No, not at all. In other words, it doesn't mean it's that big of a deal. But it could lead to a big deal if you don't clarify it. So it's very important to just sit down and go, okay, what's going on? Like, what are you mad about? What are you upset about? Or, are we having a misunderstanding? If so, like, what are you upset about? What's going on your side of the fence? I really do want to understand. And if you think I'm talking to someone very specifically right now, I am. So let's talk. I have a very, very important story that I'm going to share with you, a real life story from my life about 10 plus years ago. So a young lady that I took care of for about 6 years, my goddaughter. Due to NLP and understanding reframes, meaning reframe, etc., I saved the day, not only for that day, but for the rest of her high school career. Like, it was a really important, pivotal experience. And my brain went 100 miles an hour. I said the right thing in the right way. I took a chance, and I think just that's what came up. Throw it out there, see what happens. Bam, it worked. I'll share that story in a moment, but first, one of the things in my life that's been kind of a very, very, very odd, awkward, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me try, hold on. I can't find the right word right now, so maybe it'll come out, but it's been this really odd experience where people will just suddenly fade out of my life. For many, many years, I thought it was because I wasn't good enough for them, but here's the brain twister. People will come back a year, 2 years later, even later, or just randomly bump into me and say, hey, I am really sorry for doing that to you. I'm like, yeah, like, I don't understand. Like, we were like best friends, or like, I thought we were falling in love. Like, what happened? They said, honestly, I felt like I wasn't good enough for you. I was like, what? Because when they wouldn't respond, didn't talk to me, I thought like, man, I must have done something wrong, or maybe they think I'm not good enough for them. Or so when they would say that to me, that was just mind blowing. So let's take this right here. You have to understand your beliefs, your image of yourself can really have an impact on the unconscious meaning that is given to the experience that you're having with someone that you might care about, or it might give meaning to a certain meaning to the words that they're speaking, and that's not the meaning that they mean. So let's say you're with someone you really, really like, and you don't feel good enough for them, or you're like they're above you or something. So what happens is you'll take the littlest thing they say and be like, yeah, I'm not good enough for them. And so it gets filtered through this, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not good for them. And they're just going, I don't understand. Like, I love you. Like, why aren't you talking to me? Like, what's happening here? And yet in their eyes, they're looking at you like you're everything in the world to me. I love you, or you're my best friend. Like, why are you walking away? Like, what's going on here? So in their eyes, they think you're the best thing that's ever happened to them. And yet you're over here having a completely different experience, thinking, oh, I'm not good enough for this person. And then when you walk away, they feel like, well, I guess I wasn't good enough for them. Kind of interesting, isn't it? So it's the same thing when you have beliefs about other people. Those beliefs become filters, and they give meaning to your experiences with them and to the words that they're saying. I'm trying to think of something that happened to me recently. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did something really positive. I said something very happy, very friendly, and this person just looked at me like, why would you say that? And I was like, say what? What are you talking about? They didn't it was like, how do I explain this? It was like we were in two different universes. I'm like, I'm saying one thing and they're over here having a completely radically different experience. I'm like, where did you get that from? This comes from the meaning that people give to experiences. Here's another mistake that people will do. They'll go to their friends or family or coworkers or people who have never met you. They might have seen you walk by or you said hello or something real briefly, but they don't know you at all. And you go to them for advice. So this becomes another filter. They're going to give you the meaning from their perspective, and yet they really don't have a perspective because they don't know me. They don't know the person that you're with or the person that you like or whatever. You do. And then on top of that, you have to be careful if they're a toxic person or if they're a narcissist. They don't want good things to happen to you. They're going to tell you the most worst things in the world and say, oh, this person did this and this means that, and they're going to give you all these negative meanings and negative beliefs about the person or whatever. Okay, I've got another one. I tried to share with a couple friends of mine about this person that I met who I really like, and they're one guy's just like, Michael, women, don't worry about women. They're wishy-washy. I'm like, dude, you're not listening to me. I really like this person. I even told a girl, about this, and not a girl, she's in her 20s, probably 25, 26, and she just couldn't understand. I go, I don't think you're not even, it's like you can't even hear what I'm saying. This isn't just some person. And I literally had to pull her aside and say, look, you're not even hearing what I'm saying. She goes, what do you mean? I go, this isn't just some fucking girl. This is someone I really, really like. And she goes, oh, because she was like, oh, don't cry over women. Don't do this. And don't worry about her. Just move on to the next one. I'm like, man, you're not even listening. So here's my point. They're not in the experience. Therefore, they're not feeling the emotions. Therefore, they don't understand the meaning that you have inside. And because of all these reasons, these people are going to give you the worst absolute advice on the planet. Alright, now let's wrap it up with my goddaughter. So again, this was more than 10 years ago. So She was just finished ninth grade. Ninth grade was really hard. Now, I didn't understand the dynamics between teenage girls. It can be pretty brutal. Now, this was a period I'm like, wait, what's going on? And, I remember the movie Mean Girls with, I can't remember her name now, famous actress. But I remember Stacey Dash was in it. Alicia Silverthorne, I think it was Silver something. And then there was the other main character, and she was a really mean one, and I cannot remember her name right now. So I knew teenage girls could be mean, but I didn't understand, like, within their own circle of teenage girls, there can be a real brutality going on. So I was just learning about this. So my goddaughter got through ninth grade. It was a real emotional. It was kind of intimidating, even for as a parent. There was just like this intimidation factor, and like, wow, like, so I showed up to school a lot, so to visually kind of be a protector, to let people know, like, hey, don't mess with my goddaughter. So I was there an awful lot, and it was for that very purpose. So 10th grade comes along. One thing I was told, and she had told me this, and I heard it from a couple other people, like, yeah, once you get out of 9th grade, because all the girls, seniors, juniors, and then sophomores, they pick on the freshman girls, okay, and it's really brutal. So she got through that. And in 10th grade, there's pressures taken off. You kind of get messed with a little bit, but essentially it's the 9th grade girls that really get the hammer. So everything was going good. She was happy. It was about 2 months into the semester, and she comes over one day and she walks in the door. And she's tearing. I'm like, whoa, like she was. The emotions were high. What she said to me, I realized I had to make a split-second decision, and I had to answer it right now, because see. One thing you learn about hypnosis is when people are in that intense emotion, if you can shift it in that moment, boom, it's going to have a powerful, very positive effect. And I knew that if I couldn't make this shift, she was going to suffer for the rest of her high school years. This went through my mind like 100 miles an hour, and I realized, like, once a bully, and it wasn't one bully, it was a group of bullies, once they realize they got your number, they will be relentless. And I'm looking like, man, she might go into suicidal depression, she might go into this severe, grades lowering, like, not eating food. I was like, holy shit, I gotta fix this. Now, I shared this with you in the past, but it's been a while, two years, I think, maybe more. This is gonna shock you, so hold on. And I mean what I said to her. So she comes walking to the door. She's crying. She's upset. And I'm like, whoa. And I go, what's going on? And I'm in my chair, and I'm turning around looking at her. And she looks at me. She goes, the girls at school called me a slut. And she's just bawling. Now, there's something called a pattern interrupt. If you can interrupt a person's pattern, you break the pattern. She was in a really deep pattern. So I turned around, and it's called shock value. And I turned around, and instantly it just came to me, and I threw it out there. And I turned around and I said in a kind of a loving, kind of sweet kind of voice, I said, well, you are, sweetie. You are a slut. And she went, what? And her whole world, like, because she knew I would never say anything to her. Now she kind of like, wait, what? It threw a question mark in her brain. And she literally goes, what do you mean? What do you mean? That's a powerful question. Now, by shocking her so intensely, it interrupted the pattern completely, and it opened the door for something new to come in. Another thing I knew is I had a lot of trust with this young lady. We had a very deep rapport, and I knew she would look at me and be like, what do you mean? And so I said, well, you're cute and sexy. And she goes, what? And she looks up. Now, this is called transderivational search. She's doing a search in her brain, and she went left, right. And she looks at me, she goes, oh, okay. And I'm like, are you okay? And she says, oh, yeah, I didn't know that's what it meant. So what happened when she looked up and she was looking left, right, she was making a new connection to the meaning. That means you're cute and sexy. Meaning meant. I shifted the meaning. Now here's another thing I know about bullies. If they try to get your number and all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore, the more they do it, the less power they're going to feel like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't working. In fact, I knew instantly she's going to go to school and they're going to start calling her this word, and she's going to smile and feel good about herself. And she did. So she came back about a week later and she walks in the door just feeling good, just, head held high. I'm going, how are you doing, sweetie? She goes, oh, I'm doing great. I go, so do the girls call you that name anymore? She goes, they did for a couple of days, but they don't do it anymore. I don't know why. Now here's the deal, she was smiling, talking about this made her happy. It did not make her feel sad and extreme emotional negativity or whatever you want to call it. All of a sudden this word's making her feel good about herself. And normally people would say, oh, this is a bad word, and I agree with you, it is a bad word. My point being, or my purpose being, is you can change any meaning to any word that you want. So this word that was smashing her down now became a word that built her up, that built up her self-esteem and confidence. It's all about meaning, the meaning that you give to it. So next time someone calls you a whore, it just might mean you're cute and sexy. You can either let words beat you down or build you up. It's your choice. What's the meaning you want to give to it? In all sincerity, it might have been a compliment. It might have been someone just trying to be playful and fun and being cute. So maybe loosen up a little bit. The power of life and happiness and joy and fun and thriving in life is literally at your fingertips. It's just a word. It's just a thought. Reframe it. Give it an empowering meaning that pushes you forward in life, that launches you forward into happiness, joy, and making life a wonderful place to be. If I can reframe my best friend's death 10 years later to pushing me forward into actually thriving, you can change anything and turn it into something that makes you feel and be much more powerful in life. This is just one more tool to put in the toolbox to empower your life, so next time something comes up, another event, you can pull this tool out and change the meaning. Remember, kick ass, make it happen, and be awesome. Hey, this is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. If you're looking for a life coach, professionally trained personal development coach, energy healer, and a lot more, get a hold of me. If you like this video, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and if you want to help this channel, go to my website, MikeKollin.com. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video, and if you want to make a donation, there's a PayPal link right there in the description box. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.